This is Damon Stevens, Fenwell Builders. Today is Sunday, February 6, 2022, and this is Stock Market Prep. Also review for Friday, so that way we can prep for this week to see what's going on. It's the Bears versus the Bulls, and Friday's close was telling of a little bit of what the market's thinking possibly here. So let's get into it right now and take a look at what's going on. Also, crypto, Bitcoin, a great weekend. Ethereum as well, and Leo, really good weekends. Good last few days here as we're trying to test a breakout here of the current levels. So finally seeing some momentum here. Moving on, these stocks have been moving flat here for a little bit. So excited about that. I don't know if you guys are in the crypto world, but if you are, we're looking to see if we can break through some resistance levels here and get things moving again. So we'll cover that in a little bit, but let's get into the market a little bit here. If you look at the Friday, and I'll spend a little time on this one, just want to make sure you kind of see what's going on. So Dow Jones closed down 0.06%, NASDAQ up 1.58%, and S&P 500 up 0.52%. But what's interesting about the market here, and I just want to spend a little time on this chart here. And this is all free, FinViz is free. So if you're not using this charting system, you can. There's a lot more enhanced features if you purchase a product. I'm not promoting this product at all, other than I do use it on a daily basis. So I just want to show you this level here. So Dow Jones, you see here where it opened up around this 35.89 area, and you see it dropped off, right? So you had all the sellers come in here and sell it off down here, and then we created a base. And then you can see a bounce here. And as you saw the bounce, it came up about halfway, and then it kind of grinded up through, the morning to the afternoon before getting above this level. Once it broke that level, if you weren't already in it from the bottom, once it broke above this level, that's the time that you can get in. And you can see here, it rode up from there, rode up to 35,300, and then sold off at the end of the day, which is interesting. This is what I want to see. So this is weakness at the end of the day. So if you're able to write this down, you could take profits here. You could have wrote it up here and took profits up here. This would be your stop loss area here. If it, as far as, I used yesterday's close a lot for my trades, just because, if it drops below here, then I can trade this. And if it bounces above here, that's my stop loss, and vice versa when it's coming up. If it bounces back down, my stop loss is below the line. But you can see here, this gave you a nice ride, nice little S here. So anybody who's going long or short, you both got it on the Dow on Friday. NASDAQ here, you can see here where it started down here at the bottom and rode up here. And then we kind of paused out here, came back down here, almost retested where we opened up. And then we pulled up here again, and you can see we kind of just grinded up till we passed this line. Once we pass this high of the day, this is your chance again to get in, set your stop loss down here where you saw the breakout, and you see you could have had a nice ride up here to the top until we flattened out, which would be your exit. And then you had a pullback here at the end of the day. So again, pulled back here, and it pulled back to where it broke out here after this breakout here, where it kind of settled in and just kind of grinded. So you can see here support and resistance levels are pretty easy to get on this chart, even if you had no other charting system. S&P 500, again, broke out from the morning, very similar to NASDAQ, not exact, but pulled up, came down, flattened out, rode up here, broke above this line, and you got a nice little grind all the way back up here to the highs, flattened out, time to get out, and book trade your profits, and then boom, you came down here at the end of the day. And, one of the things that we're seeing is big movements in the morning, big movements in the afternoon, and the middle of the day is a grind. So it's been happening quite a bit here for this last few weeks here as the markets got more volatile. Just something to keep in mind. Don't know if this is of interest for you. For me, seeing the chart patterns and how it's playing out, gives you opportunities every day if you understand the patterns and kind of see how the market's moving and see where your opportunities are. Looking at the heat map here, you can see it's pretty mixed. Some of the things did okay, others did not. So pretty much mixed across the board. Financials did really good. Energy continues to rock and roll. Man, it's just rocket. Exxon, ConocoPhillips, Chevron, all just making highs. U.S. oils, if you're doing commodities, or if you're doing futures or anything like that, great opportunities in all those areas right now with the market the way that's moving. So just really good. Amazon, after earnings just killed it, just amazing. Google killed it, and then they pulled back here. And we'll talk about that in our chart as well, as we've been following along with Google. So let's get in some charting here and see what we can learn from it, see how that helps us prep this week. So earnings again next week out here. As far as this week, again, it looks like Wednesday is going to probably be my biggest day here as far as looking. I'll be watching CVS a little bit. Twilio, definitely interested in that. Uber, and then on Thursday, Twitter, Coca-Cola, a few names here, but not as heavy as it was last week. We had a lot of heavy names the last 2 weeks here. This week, not so much, but we'll be watching it, seeing what the opportunities are, and see kind of how the market might change, depending on these other companies and their earnings. Harley Davidson will be another one on Tuesday. So just to give you an idea of what's out there, and definitely expect additional volatility out here. EOG, we've talked about this off and on. This one just continues to grind higher. And I see that we tagged the line here. We almost hit it here, pulled back before we tagged our upper trend line at this point here. Let me pull this down here. Back in early February, and then you hit it again here on the 4th. And then we pull back here. I'm wondering if we're going to retest this. And you see here on our bottom trend line, we tagged it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and possibly a 5th time now. We have all these gaps to fill as well that we got to fill in. They've been left behind. So we'll see if we fill the gaps, possibly bounce off here and run up again. That's most likely what I see happening. Obviously, you could find support here off the 15, bounce up and move up north. So just kind of watching that area to see if we have support here or down on this trend line as we have in the past, and make sure they can hold. Exxon just continues to rock and roll, just keeps on climbing up here. It just barely passed our last resistance line here. Got another one up here around the 95 area. These are all based on the Fibonacci extensions here that we have up here. So those are what we're using now as guidelines as far as where we may go in this market next. So watching those lines for support. Obviously, this is a pretty big breakup candle, so we could see a pullback as well. So just be aware of that. If we did, we could pull back possibly to the 10 here and find support, or down from the 5 or the 10 here. So just kind of keep an eye on those levels there as if you're trading this one. Snap had really rejected off the earnings, cleared down to this 24 area, found support, bounced off, came up here and kind of was flat on Thursday, and then Friday we had a nice little run up here to above this candle. So we retraced that entire candle and closed above it, which is very bullish in my mind. And so the next stop would be getting past this 40.64, and then again at the 100 EMA at 41.93. And if we get past that 42 level, then hopefully we can grind back up here towards this 49 level, which is the 200. So looking at Snap this week to see what it can do. Amazon chart looks very similar. You had this pullback, but then this big huge run up. But actually, Amazon ran up instead of down after this pullback here. And so you see we had nice support down here, nice support down here, a run up, a little bit of a pullback and retracement, and then a run back up. And we're above this candle right here, just closing. So really watching Monday. We're at 31.50 basically, looking for a breakdown. If we break down, then you have support here at 3100 or 30.96. If we break that, looking for a retracement back down here on this big candle here, maybe halfway down this 50% here of retracement on this 30.24 area. If we break above that on Monday and we're moving north of 31.50, then looking for resistance here at 3,200. If we can break 3,200, then we move towards the 200 moving average. So that's around 3,290. If we get past that, then 3,300 is next on the docket. So looking for Monday to show us direction on here, but we're right in the middle of support and resistance. So looking for Monday either pre-market or after market to show us which direction Amazon wants to go. Google, talked about this one real quick too. Nice, huge, good earnings. Pulled clear up here to 30.60, right here above this last high. So made a new high, and then we've retraced back. And now we got to see where we go from here. Do we come down here, fill this gap all the way in here that we have, or do we bounce from here and move up north towards the resistance area, which is going to be 2970. So looking for Google to show us which direction it wants to go as well on this Monday as we start out. But overall market right now, Friday closing down, all of them across the board a little bit weak. Either was cash out, but it was on pretty high volume on this end of this week. So, are people cashing out, or are we actually head back down a little bit? That's the big question for Monday. Apple, you see here, Apple's kind of just pulled back here a little bit. We have gaps below, but Apple pulled back a little bit. It's above the moving averages, so obviously could rally here on Monday. Boeing's just flat, consolidating, nice consolidation here. Building power either to drop down or go north. It looks like from here so far, the momentum is to move north. Tesla's just kind of in this little channel area here. It looks like it's really consolidating for me. As long as it stays, hopefully above this 880 level, then we could stay in this 880 to 940 level. If we break below 880, then more likely we'll come down to the 200 or below. So just be aware of that. And those levels would be, around 860, 840, 820. And if we get below 800, watch out below. So just watching at Tesla as well. So kind of right in the middle right now. So just looking for some direction on Monday to tell us which way markets wants to trend. So Nvidia, again, it's just kind of choppy here. It's kind of consolidated. We could consolidate here also this week. So just be aware of that as well. If the market has trouble deciding a direction, very much like Bitcoin did, some of the cryptos, they just kind of flattened right out. So we could see that in the market as well, stock market, if it can't find a direction. Netflix, big pull down here, trying to find some support to get above resistance. It did pop up here a little bit, which is good. Those 410 level, as long as it stay above 400, I think you'll try to rally back up here above that, above the 200, move north again. Facebook, big, huge pullback. Boy, really pulled back here. Still showing resistance on Friday. So no time in the near future that I'm seeing so far for to try to want to retrace this. I mean, it did not. Usually, if you have this big emotional move down, if it is really emotional driven and not volume driven, and people backing out, it would pop back up here. But definitely, people are not liking what they heard from Facebook. So just be careful if you're trading that one, and make sure the trends change before you go long on this one, because it's got to show some resilience or some really good news for it to start turning back north again. RK, kind of weak here, could consolidate here as well. So just be aware of that. It's got to really break above this 200 to start showing us that it's got momentum to move north. So 10-year yield, this is what I do not like. So you can see here, we're sitting here above this 190 level. And we're flat on Friday, which is fine. But, we did move above, and this line, as long as we're above this 190, real concerned that the market can continue to pull back here. So something to be aware of. We are elevated here quite a bit. Obviously, any of the bad news that's come out, has not affected the 10-year bond. So just be careful here. This has got to really pull back here if we want to see the market to start to rally back up here. Crude oil, like we talked about on Friday or Thursday, we tagged the trend line, pull back or consolidating here right under here. So the next breakout above 93 can hopefully get us to 95. Dollar's kind of sitting here down here consolidating. It's pulled back here a little bit. It's under our trend lines. So we'll see what the dollar does. VIX sitting here, it could consolidate here as well for a little bit. You can see here after this spike here, it pulled back, jumped up and consolidated and dropped off again. Here you can see low consolidation and then drop off here. But if it consolidates too much, you could see another spike possibly up here. So just watching, for a pattern to evolve here and tell us which direction the VIX is going to go. But it is still elevated. SPY, see the SPY is still down here. It looks like it's about ready to consolidate here, possibly in this little channel here. So keep an eye on the SPY for movement. Triple Q, same thing, consolidation. Semiconductors, possibly consolidating here as well. Dow Jones, pull back here to support. So a little choppy here, but this could become a consolidation channel possibly. So just looking for either breakdown or break up, but if it continues to sit here, we could see a pattern consolidation or flatness. IWM kind of right here on this lower trend line here. So it could hopefully right up here. If it breaks down, then we're more likely to come back down to 200 again. Financials is trying to hold up here, try to rally off here. It's got resistance up here around 40.50. It's got to break through. Got some gaps up here to close as well. So we'll see what it can do right now. It's not showing this the largest strength. You can see we had a lot of consolidation back here in this area in October. And we could possibly start that again here. So just looking to see financials to show us which direction it wants to go. I look at energy, we broke all the way down here and boom, right back up. We're at the top of our trend line. If we can break out of here, we can try to capture this one, 75. If we get past 75, we're going to be rallying back up here towards hopefully 80, 84 area. Healthcare, you can see this channel here. We've just been kind of tracing up here. Almost broke down on Thursday too. We got support, bounced back up. We got back in on Friday, back into this trend. So hopefully we can rally back up here and just start to head back up towards the highs here. So we'll see. But right now we got back in this trend line. As long as we stay in there, hopefully we can continue rallying back up here. The technology, XLK, maybe consolidating here, kind of like we talked about with the SPY and triple Qs. You know, there could be a consolidation period here, depending on kind of what the rest of the market does. So keep an eye on this area. We have a lot of gaps to fill above. So we'll see what happens this next week as we kind of watch this and see, you know, does this become a consolidation? You see, we had a consolidation down here at this lower level right here, the same way we had back here. So this didn't really consolidate it. It kind of was a breakout. So we'll see what happens here, but keep an eye on that for some momentum here. Bitcoin. So we talked about Bitcoin, nice run up, little dip here to get support, and a little fake out possibly on some people who had stops there, and then a nice rally up here. We're sitting there trying to get above this 50. That's might need to be a little resistance. Could have a pullback. Hopefully get support here and run up again. But we really need to break out of here up above this 46,000 level to really kind of break up and start heading back north. Leo, we had this pullback, consolidate a little bit, break out again. It held above the last high, so that's good. So now we see if we can get above this 50, this $5.45. See if we can rally up here to new highs on Leo. So Leo's looking good. Ethereum, nice little cup here. So it could either cup here and break through here on this 50 and move up north, or it could pull down a little bit here, maybe make a cup and head back up. But nice little cup formation here on Ethereum. So that's our videos. That's our crypto. So liking what I'm seeing in crypto now. See if we can hold these levels and continue to move higher. In the stocks, you know, we're kind of right in the middle. So watch the movement on the VIX. Watch the movement on the SPY before pre-market and right after to see kind of what direction we're headed. If we're moving above, yes, the Friday's close, that's a bullish momentum. If we're below it, that's a bearish momentum for the day. And we're talking about intraday, not long-term. If you're looking at long-term trends, there's some bargains out there right now, a lot of depressed stocks. So, you know, think about possibly adding some of them in. I would know if I'd go all in yet because I'm not seeing strength in one direction or the other in the market right now. So, and we could go flat for a long time too. So just be careful if you're trading out there. Definitely looking for some type of trend change in one direction or the other to kind of show us where the market really wants to go in the short term and possibly long term. So be careful trading out there. We'll talk tomorrow night and see how the day went and where we should go next. Happy trading.